Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. And let's have a short, powerful Bitcoin update on what the price has in store for us today. I'm your host, Mike Williams. Thank you for tuning in. Hope you enjoy. Sit back and relax as you will be having the full update on the situation on Bitcoin. What do I expect next? And what Bitcoin has in store for us, essentially, right? So let's dive straight into it. Don't waste any time because I respect your time. And let's take a look. So obviously, over the last week or so, we have seen quite a significant downwards price action, really downwards price action. And I think it leaves a lot of people wondering, maybe even a little bit worried about what is now in store for Bitcoin. Is the top in? Are we going to go to lower prices? And I also see a lot of traders questioning, like, is this now a triple top? Well, let me clear that up for you right away. In my books, this is not a triple top. A triple top, I'm very punctual and very accurate with my analysis. So just looking at this fact, a triple top, first of all, would look like this. I want to see exact touches, maybe a few candles through it. And for me, this is not a triple top, as we have traded well through and around these previous all-time highs. And most of all, in crypto, these kind of triple tops or double tops are rarely going to last very long. Yes, we can see a retracement from there on out, but usually what it means is that there's a lot of liquidity resting above these prices. And crypto in specific, being a highly leveraged market overall, it's just basically a matter of time before that is going to be taken out. So that can already, in my books, it's ruled out. This is not a triple top. And for me, it's just washed price action and range bound digestion around those all-time high regions. So what we do see a big range that has been lasting for quite a while now, since March until now, really. And for me, in my books, what this looks like is simply a range rotation that we're currently experiencing to the downside. We have already seen this prior to this. We have already seen a drop earlier on in March, where we had that recovery, where we also had this fake out below, right? I'm looking at this particular channel overall. Right. Also extensively covered that on this show. Prior to that, we had that fake out, we reclaimed it and gotten back in that channel, only for us to make a rotation up to $72,000, which was the value area high and an earlier monthly close level, where we ultimately got rejected on. If I would map that out on the chart, actually, let me just clean that up, so that you can only see the important levels that I'm looking at. We are seeing here that this level, specifically 71,356, has been very well respected, and we have seen now a full rotation from high of the range to the low of the range, now tapping that monthly level below us, where we are currently trying to establish support. But honestly, not doing a good job at it. So what am I looking at? And how do I proceed here in terms of trading and my price expectation? At the moment, I will give it straight up to you. I expect further downside. And the reason for that is that we are seeing a shift of volume downwards. So I already prepared this. I'm pulling here a fixed range from where the range starts to an arbitrary point over here. And what is important here is this light area represents the value area that we can currently see over here. And if volume is following price, it means that there is interest in trading at these levels. Now, if we finalize, so let's just mark this out so that we can track it more easily. If we finalize this fixed range and pull it to the most recent price action, we do see that after establishing high volume over here, we are trading lower, and with that value area is shifting to the downside. That indicates significant weakness on the chart, and it basically represents that people are interested in trading at current prices, and that drags down that level of interest where people are are happy to get in and out of position. That is what this represents. And if volume follows that price, specifically on the high time frames, that is the most likely direction that price is going to go. And we have seen that early in the morning today. We already have seen a drop out of this value area, and we are now trading very much below that. So the volume levels are lost. We are on an older monthly close level. If you look at the monthly chart, we can see that we have closed and opened the month of May over here, and that is currently where we are trading on Bitcoin. Locally, though, it doesn't look that great, because locally we have already seen a drop and price is just failing to really bounce, right? It's failing to reverse that trend back up, and it's failing to reclaim any levels of significance, even on the local and day trading perspective as well, resulting in this more or less starting to look like a bear flag with another leg to the downside to come. And this at the moment has the highest probabilities. And with having this knowledge, we can rule out everything that we want to happen. Personally, as a trader, I want price to go up. I want Bitcoin to go to the moon. But in the end, as a trader, which is what I am, and I make an effort into sharing my knowledge to educate people for the better, so that they can also understand the markets. In the end, as a trader, you have to trade the probabilities, and the probabilities are currently further downside, and that really is what it is. And why do I say that? Even if we are at support, well, that clue is to be. You can get that from where that rejection started at 72,000. We see that drop downwards. We see Bitcoin putting in a lower high, resulting in a lower low. And even though during this pump over here, we still have made a lower high, and we have continued to do so until now, until right now. And so far, we have not re-established any kind of uptrend whatsoever. And therefore, the expectation is lower prices until proven otherwise. We are currently at support, so there is a chance here that we might be able to see a bounce. But if we add further technical analysis, this is a weekly level. This is from a weekly candle close, right, which is slightly higher. We can see that this is very well respected. And today we have tried to trade back above $61,000, 419 to be very exact, but failed to stay there. And now we are dropping once more, bringing us back to the price level where we were at earlier today as well. And yeah, it's basically a bear flag, and I expect at least another challenge of these lows at the very least. We could take out these lows one more time and then see if we can establish a bounce once more. I want to see the same things. I want to see price trading through that weekly level, through that $61,000, 419, and I want to see that continuation to the upside. That for me would signal an early sign of strength, where I'm starting to believe that Bitcoin has the strength to bounce and continue. What it has done now, it just only bounced and it did not continue, and that signals further weakness. So the expectation here is at least a challenge of the low, but honestly, this trend is pretty strong to the downside, and lower prices are expected. The next level that I'm looking for is pretty much 58,250. Just to make it easy, let's make this $58,000, because that is then a daily candle close, where we are seeing our how do you say that, our candle close. Let me actually double check if the sound is all right. Let me know in the chat, guys. Can you guys actually hear me? Okay, sound. Okay, thank you, guys. Sound is stabilized, so you can hear me. All is good. All is well. All is well. Should have checked this before, but hey, we're live. Things happen always during live streams. Sometimes it goes great. Sometimes you have some technical issues, but it seems that everything is fine, so we can simply continue. You see here different color-coded levels, and the way that I organize my analysis in this way, these are horizontal levels. I have an academy where you can study all of this stuff, how I do my analysis, and how I'm able to make these levels so precise and see these reactions real time on a low time frame. Basically, it goes like this. High time frame usually tends to be stronger, then you move down to a lower time frame, and then you move to an even lower time frame, and that is where you can start to see these early signs of strength. Once you see these early signs of strength on the lower time frames, you can start scaling back up again to the higher time frames, and then you get that further larger confirmation. And the way that I organize this, I have my monthly levels being the highest resistance, the highest time frame resistance, so they tend to be stronger, usually, not always, but usually. Then I move on to the weekly level, and then a daily level. And lower than that, I really don't go, because I use other technical analysis to day trade my way through these levels. But right now we are on a pretty much a crucial level, I would say, 60,631. This is not the only level. If we simply pull a Fibonacci level, for example, from the low over here to the highs over here, this is the ultimate high. We are already through the golden pocket as well, and that forms that little support region over here that we are currently at the very lowest end of that. And yeah, that simply just doesn't look good. Sometimes you have to face the facts, and if Bitcoin is weak, it's weak, and you would be looking to short bounces until bigger support is being hit, which is what I personally have done. I've traded lower time frame shorts into the level. Now we are forming this range, and it certainly looks like we are gearing up for another move to the downside, where that next level of support really is going to come in at 58,243 to be very precise. Although the problem that I have with that specific level is that it doesn't have much technical confluence either. So honestly, the best case scenario would be another challenge of these lows over here. Remember what I said in the beginning about the triple tops? We are seeing here on the 4-hour time frame a double bottom, right? And that leaves too much for me liquidity to the downside, where I kind of expect at least a challenge of the lows. And that would be for me a reflection point where I would be looking for price to jab through the level, hopefully close above, and that could signal a good trading opportunity for me. However, if we start closing below these levels, then it's lower prices to come, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what it is. That is what it is. Unless we reclaim we start to change that structure and we reclaim some actual levels, the probability is in favor for further downside, and that is just the situation. So for now, we now have had these levels where we could previously see, like, okay, this is a high probability area where we can look for a bounce to start. We did get a bounce, but in the process of doing so, instead of reclaiming the level and establishing this as support, we have actually lost the level and back tested it as resistance. That makes this level, for now, one of the most important levels to be reclaimed, as that would be a sign of strength, because this is not only just a level that I drew on the chart, but is now also proven by price action that price is failing to trade back through the level. So therefore, it's now established resistance, and that is the very first level that needs to be reclaimed before we can even think or look to further price increases. Now, once we've done that, then we do the same thing to the upside. We look for $64,000 next, and then to higher prices. With the most important, the biggest resistance of them all is 67,700, because you heard me talking about these volume levels over here. I've mapped them out for you guys over here already, right? So this is the most important levels, which means this is the level where the most volume has been transacted over the course of the last 2 months. If we can't reclaim that, then all of this, even if we bounce, let's say from here or maybe even lower, we could still get rejected. And if we then scale up to the higher time frame, this would again result in a lower high where possible continuation is to be expected, right? So that is the way how I'm looking at the chart right now. This was an opportunity earlier today. That opportunity has now gone, as we are now starting to drop in price once more. I'm simply scaling up, moving to the next level, where I have, first of all, this daily level without much confluence, personally, I would love these lows to be taken out and simply go from there, right? Then if we re-establish that structure, for example, we can use this daily level then to be reclaimed, and we can do the exact same thing as that we were looking, or I was looking at earlier today, over here, right? But then just simply at lower prices, same concept, different price levels, right? And with that, I would say you have now a good overview of the levels that represent possible support and resistance areas, where you can now gradually judge price. Hey, does this look strong or does this look weak? And based off of that, you can now make informed decisions, where you are able to judge the probabilities. Let's say if you do decide to take a long over here right now, then it is basically an idea, but you don't have that sign of strength yet. That is how I use technical analysis, and that allows me to have grip on the chart by being aware also of the context, having this downwards downtrend. I know that longs remain risky until the trend is changing. So while you can still look for long trades, be aware that at the moment we are in a downtrend, and that continues to be the case until the chart proves to us that it can reverse, right? So therefore, it allows you to help taking some profits along the way up, and still profit, even if this is ultimately, let's say, not the bottom, but let's say if we just have a bounce. And in that way, you can just trade your way through until that really big reaction ultimately will come. Because that is one guarantee. There's no guarantees in trading, but I will give you one. There will be a point on Bitcoin where price will reverse and will bounce and will get very, very volatile. These are the levels that I'm looking at currently. Right, so I'll repeat once more: 58,000 more or less, but preferably $56,000. If we break that, yeah, then it requires a moment of reflection, and then we simply need to move levels lower, and then the best next support is really coming into $50,000. However, no reason to panic, in my opinion. You have the levels where you can start judging the strength or weakness of the price action. See if we bounce there. If we don't, we move a level lower. See if we bounce there. If we don't, yeah, we move a level lower. And the same goes for the upside. If we reclaim a level, that's good. Let's go for the next level. Let's see if we get rejected there. If we don't, okay, then we can go further upwards. And that is pretty much in the most simplistic way how I can explain it. Obviously, there's a lot of thought and work to be done on the chart, but hey, I'm bringing it here to you in a digestible and accessible format, hopefully. And that, for me, is how I look at Bitcoin. Hopefully you've liked this video. Leave a like and subscribe if you're interested in what I do otherwise, which is trading education, and follow the links in the description below, where you can get access to my YouTube channel, where I do a daily show, where I also go into crypto projects. I talk about just crypto news and the markets in general. And then at Thrive Labs, we focus on the hardcore trading education. So if that's of your interest, then check it out, and hopefully see you there. Thank you for watching, and have a really brilliant day, and see you in the next video. Cheers and goodbye.